Hey there! Interesting lesson for today's English conversation workshop on work and jobs. We have a series of activities and exercises for you about work and jobs based on a report from Breaking News English on the current state of unemployment among young people around the world. Sean was very kind to let us use one of his activities. But before we jump into that, we're going to look at some vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, a little grammar, and some pronunciation to help you develop your English listening skills and to begin developing your conversation skills as well. Let's talk about your career. Do you like your job? What kind of work do you do? While you think of your answer, here are some fun facts for you. Did you know that people spend an average of 90,000 hours at work over their lifetime? Make sure to pick a job you enjoy. You'll spend a lot of time doing it. You do enjoy your job, don't you? Did you know that 80% of people are unhappy and dissatisfied with their jobs? And 88% of employees don't feel passionate about the work they do? Pretty crazy, considering the huge amount of time you'll spend there. Maybe it's because work is stressful. But here's another fun fact for you. 25% say work is the main reason they are stressed. And 40% of employees say their job is very stressful. And did you know that 66% of workers feel overwhelmed? Do you feel overwhelmed or stressed at work? Maybe that's why people change their jobs so often. On average, Americans hold 7 to 8 different jobs before the age of 30. But you know what's even crazier? In the United States, workers only take off an average of 57% of their vacation time. That means most workers give up almost 50% of the time off they're legally allowed to take. Instead of taking time off to unwind and unstress, people just keep right on working. I guess that's not as bad as working in Japan. 10,000 workers drop dead at their desks every year because of working 60 to 70-hour weeks. There's even a word to describe this phenomenon. It's called karoshi. I don't speak Japanese yet, so forgive my pronunciation. But here are some crazy examples. One man who worked 110 hours per week died of karoshi at the age of 34. Another man worked 15 years without ever having a day off and died at the age of 37. What's the moral of the story? Your job might not kill you, but we're all going to kick the bucket someday. I'd rather try to stick around as long as possible. So if you do too, make sure to pick a job you enjoy and make sure to take advantage of your vacation time to relax and unwind. Whoa, pretty crazy. I'll bet you never thought about your work in quite that way, huh? When you look at the big picture, it makes you realize how important time is, the time you invest in things, and especially work when you're going to be investing all that time in it. It's important to do something that you love, something that you're passionate about, and of course, something that's going to reward you well for what you do in different ways, not just monetarily with money, but also with the satisfaction of what you're doing, helping others, changing lives. I think that's important. I'm going to tell you in just a little bit about my work history and how I got to where I am today recording these videos. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at some vocabulary and expressions, because I'm going to use these vocabulary words and expressions in my story. Now, vocabulary, I think, is crucial, very important for improving your English. Because how are you going to understand what you hear if you don't know the words people are using? And how are you going to speak fluently and express yourself if you don't have the necessary vocabulary to say what you want to, right? So if you haven't yet watched my series of videos on the 5-step vocab system that I use to learn new vocabulary words in Portuguese and French, I recommend you watch it after you finish this video. Links are in the description below. You can take a look later. But right now, let's jump in and look at some key vocabulary words. I want you to listen to me say the words and the expressions, and you can repeat along with me if you want to practice your pronunciation. Let's do that now. Learn English vocabulary with sentences for jobs and work. 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 An activity carried out to achieve a result and usually associated with your job. He doesn't like to work. He doesn't like to work. He doesn't like to work. She works at a restaurant. She works at a restaurant. She works at a restaurant. Job. Job. A paid position in a company. Job. I am looking for a job. I am looking for a job. I'm looking for a job. I got a job. I got a job. I got a job. Career. Career. Work with the opportunity for growth. Career. He started his career as a veterinarian by walking dogs. He started his career as a veterinarian by walking dogs. He started his career as a veterinarian by walking dogs. He had 6 jobs during his political career. He had 6 jobs during his political career. He had 6 jobs during his political career. Job application. Job application. A form used to formally request a job. Job application. May I fill out a job application? May I fill out a job application? May I fill out a job application? You can fill out a job application online. You can fill out a job application online. You can fill out a job application online. Resume. Resume. A summary
of academic and work history sent to potential employers. He sent out his resume last week. He sent out his resume last week. He sent out his resume last week. They liked what they saw on his resume. They liked what they saw on his resume. They liked what they saw on his resume. Job interview. Job interview. Talk with potential employees to determine if they are a good fit. Job interview. She scheduled a job interview today. She scheduled a job interview today. She scheduled a job interview today. She did well in her job interview. She did well in her job interview. She did well in her job interview. Hire. Hire. Give a job in exchange for payment. Hire. He hired 3 students for the summer. He hired 3 students for the summer. He hired 3 students for the summer. Mr. Mahone was just hired last week. Mr. Mahone was just hired last week. Mr. Mahone was just hired last week. Fire. Fire. Terminate someone's job. Fire. The doctor fired his secretary. The doctor fired his secretary. The doctor fired his secretary. He fired her for stealing his candy bars. He fired her for stealing his candy bars. He fired her for stealing his candy bars. Quit. Quit. Give up or leave your job. Quit. He quit when he didn't get a raise. He quit when he didn't get a raise. He quit when he didn't get a raise. She quit when she got a new job offer. She quit when she got a new job offer. She quit when she got a new job offer.
Wow, pretty cool, huh? But this is where it gets even cooler. We're going to look at expressions, idiomatic expressions. When you use them properly, make you sound like a more fluent and natural speaker. They're word chunks, groups of words, collocations, ways of expressing yourself that just sound more natural. Like this first expression. I could say, I need to go out and work to be able to earn money to buy food for my family so that I can also pay my bills. Okay, you get the idea. But I could just say, I need to bring home the bacon. So let's take a look at some expressions right now in this video. I think 16. But later, you can watch the big video. There's like 208, 210 idiomatic expressions related to work. You watch the whole thing, learn all of them, like 3 hours of content for you to learn. But right now, we're going to look at just a few that I'm going to use in the next section where I tell you about my work history. Welcome to EXL English expression videos. We're going to look at expressions related to work and money. Bring home the bacon. Bring home the bacon is work to earn money to bring home a paycheck and buy food for the family. Who brings home the bacon? Who brings home the bacon? Joe had to bring home the bacon after his father died. Joe had to bring home the bacon after his father died. Cash cow. Cash cow is a person, product, or service that brings the company a lot of money. That line of new red shoes is a real cash cow. That line of new red shoes is a real cash cow. The digital version of my book is a huge cash cow. The digital version of my book is a huge cash cow. Bang for the buck. Bang for the buck is something that gives you more value back than the money you spent. Online ads provide more bang for the buck than TV commercials. Online ads provide more bang for the buck than TV commercials. That course was bang for the buck. I made more than I invested. That course was bang for the buck. I made more than I invested. Selling like hotcakes. Selling like hotcakes means that you sell something very quickly that many people want to buy. We just released a new CD and it is selling like hotcakes. We just released a new CD and it is selling like hotcakes. I need another truckload of sunscreen because they are selling like hotcakes. I need another truckload of sunscreen because they are selling like hotcakes. Ramp up. Ramp up means to increase your efforts or investment to get better results. Joe and his friends ramped up their marketing efforts. Joe and his friends ramped up their marketing efforts. They ramped up their customer base with Facebook ads. They ramped up their customer base with Facebook ads. Take off. Take off means to increase or become popular very quickly. Sales have really taken off this year. Sales have really taken off this year. The company took off when she was hired. The company took off when she was hired. Go through the roof. Go through the roof means to increase much more than expected. Our number of YouTube subscribers has gone through the roof this week. Our number of YouTube subscribers has gone through the roof this week. He is rich now because his commissions have gone through the roof.
He is rich now because his commissions have gone through the roof. Ahead of the pack. Ahead of the pack means to be better or more successful than your competitors. We have to work hard to stay ahead of the pack. We have to work hard to stay ahead of the pack. That innovation has put them ahead of the pack. That innovation has put them ahead of the pack. Ahead of the curve. Ahead of the curve means to advance further than your competitors. We got ahead of the curve investing in technology. We got ahead of the curve investing in technology. They were ahead of the curve until 2008, but then they fell behind. They were ahead of the curve until 2008, but then they fell behind. On a roll. On a roll means to achieve continued success or have several successes in a row. We've been on a roll 3 months straight. We've been on a roll 3 months straight. She is on a roll with her new line of makeup. She is on a roll with her new line of makeup. On the ball. On the ball means to remain alert and take care of problems quickly. My new secretary is really on the ball. My new secretary is really on the ball. That guy is good. He's always on the ball. That guy is good. He's always on the ball. Get the ball rolling. Get the ball rolling means to take initiative and begin a process. Let's get the ball rolling on this project. Let's get the ball rolling on this project. They took out a loan to get the ball rolling in their business. They took out a loan to get the ball rolling in their business. Diamond in the rough. Diamond in the rough is someone or something with lots of potential, but still needing improvement. Joe was a diamond in the rough, just waiting for the right opportunity. Joe was a diamond in the rough, just waiting for the right opportunity. We could see that he was a diamond in the rough the moment we met him. We could see that he was a diamond in the rough the moment we met him. Raise the bar. Raise the bar means to set standards or expectations higher than before by creating something better. This software just raised the bar for their competitors. This software just raised the bar for their competitors. She raised the bar when she set the new world record. She raised the bar when she set the new world record. State of the art. State of the art refers to something technologically advanced and the best of its kind. He just bought a state-of-the-art car. He just bought a state-of-the-art car. She built a state-of-the-art home with lots of modern technology. She built a state-of-the-art home with lots of modern technology. Corner a market. Corner a market means to dominate a particular market or business. Microsoft cornered the market on personal computer software. Microsoft cornered the market on personal computer software. She cornered the market and put 2 competitors out of business. She cornered the market and put 2 competitors out of business.
So what'd you think about that? Expressions are pretty cool, huh? So, let me tell you about my work history. It all started back in the summer of '95. I graduated from high school in 1995, and I knew that I needed to grow up, become a man, and discover my career in life. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had lots of ideas, but I figured I'd start working and find something that I enjoyed, and I'd do it. So I went out, walking down the street, going to businesses, asking if they needed someone to help them out if they had a job, and filling out applications. Several days, banging on doors in the hot sun. And nobody called me back for an interview. It was extremely frustrating. I almost gave up, but a friend of mine who mowed lawns said, "Hey, David, you want to come work with me for the summer? Help me out mowing lawns? I'll pay you $6 an hour." I said, "Hey, it's money, right?" So I spent the summer helping him mow lawns. Good job. I enjoyed it. Got lots of sun, burnt the top of my head. I don't know why I shaved my head that summer. And boy, it hurt. But live and learn, right? After the summer was over, I needed another job, so I went out again. Only this time, I went to places, businesses, that I saw a now hiring sign. So I knew they needed someone to work. So I'd go there, fill out an application, got some interviews, and I got hired in a bookstore. So I worked there while I was at university. It was a good job. I enjoyed it. Calm, tranquil, in the shade, air conditioner, no hot sun. I liked my coworkers. But after a while, I realized that that wasn't the career I wanted either. So I started looking around for another job. Over the summer, I helped my friend again mowing lawns. And after the summer was over, I got a job working in a financial office. 2 gentlemen who owned 5 companies. They were accountants, helped people with investments in stocks and bonds, and they did training seminars to help people prepare for retirement. So I spent some time working with them. I enjoyed it. It was interesting. I learned a lot. But I realized that it wasn't the career for me. So I traveled for a while with a friend, spent Christmas and New Year, the holidays, traveling. When I came back, I just wanted something temporary just for a little while till I could figure things out. And down the street from my house, there was a McDonald's. And I saw they had a now hiring sign. So I went down, filled out an application. They called me up. I went in for an interview, and they hired me. Gave me a uniform. Like I said, it was going to be temporary, but I overheard a friend of mine talking with someone else on the phone, and he said, David won't last 2 weeks there. And that made me really angry. So I went to my boss and I said, hey, Bart, what do I need to do to start a career here in the company and become a manager of a restaurant like you? He said, you take some training, take some tests. If you pass, you get promoted. And then you take some more training, more tests, and you get promoted, and you keep working your way up the corporate ladder. I said, cool, sounds like fun, sign me up. So I took some training, took the test, got promoted. Took some more training, passed the test, got promoted. And after the second time, I got transferred to another restaurant in another city. And all told, I spent about 2 years working there. I liked it. It was a good job, but after a while I realized it still wasn't quite the career for me. I didn't know about the 90,000 hours. I didn't know how much time I was going to spend there, but I didn't want to spend the rest of my life doing that. So I quit, told everybody bye, came down to Brazil for some volunteer work. And after I arrived, people started asking me to help them learn English. And that's pretty much how I got to where I am today. Helping a few people, they told other people, it kind of grew. And then I started a little blog, making some videos. People all over the world started watching them, calling me, hey David, I'm in Japan, I'm in Canada, I'm in the US, and I need help because I don't speak English here. Can you help me? So I started a little course to help people out, and we signed up 500 people in 3 days. It was an amazing experience, had a lot of fun creating that course. And so it just kind of kept growing and growing, and people called me, hey David, I want to open a school in another city, can you help me out? So I went and helped them, helped somebody else. And little by little, things just kept growing, and I'm still here teaching English, as you can see, making these videos. I'm loving it, having the time of my life. It's a great career, and I'm super happy to be able to help people like you improve your English skills. Okay, so now you know all about me. Let's look at some grammar. We're going to be looking at the present perfect, the use of have with the past participle in phrases like I have worked as a doctor. I haven't, but you get the idea. So I chose this because it's a commonly used verb tense when you're in a job interview and someone asks you, have you ever done this? And then you answer. So it's important for you to be able to express yourself if you're looking to be hired in a new position. So let's go ahead and jump in to the PowerPoint slides, better microphone for you to get a clear pronunciation. Listen, follow along, pay attention, and learn. And then there are some phrases for you to repeat and practice along with me. Let's go.
Learn English grammar, the present perfect tense. How to form the present perfect. We use the verb have in conjunction with the past participle. It's easy if we're using regular verbs. So for example, if we're looking at the verb to work, we use have plus worked. So in the simple present, you would say I work. In the simple past, I worked. And then in the present perfect, we would say I have worked. So the past participle is conjugated just like the simple past with regular verbs, as in lived. So we'd have in the simple present, I live. Simple past, I lived, and in the present perfect, I have lived. However, it gets tricky with irregular verbs. Irregular verbs are conjugated differently than regular verbs in that you don't add the E and the D at the end of them. So, if you want more information about this and links on where you can find lists of irregular verbs, just check the links in the description below. So here's some examples with irregular verbs. The verb to go in the past participle is gone, so we used have plus gone. So if we conjugated these in the simple present, we would say I go. But if we were conjugating in the simple past, we would say I went. However, using the present perfect with the past participle, it becomes I have gone. So gone is different from went. Same thing with a verb like to drive. Have driven. And the simple present would be I drive. Simple past, I drove. And in the present perfect, I have driven. So there's not really a specific rule for conjugating irregular verbs in the past participle. You'll just have to look at the lists of irregular verbs, see how they're used, and learn them through use and practice. Now let's talk about how to conjugate the verb to have in the third person singular. So far we've been using have plus the past participle. But in the third person singular, remember to use has for he, she, and it. Here's some examples using the sentences we saw before. He has worked. He has lived. He has gone. And he has driven. So, now let's take a look at 5 ways to use the present perfect. Number 1, the present perfect is used in an action or situation that started in the past and continues in the present. So we have the example, I have lived here since 2003. Or we can say, he has worked there for several months. Number 2, the present perfect is used in an action performed during a period that has not yet finished. We have been to the mall 4 times. It has snowed a lot this month. Number 3, the present perfect is used in a repeated action in an unspecified period between the past and now. I have eaten there 14 times. She has visited me several times already. Number 4, the present perfect is used in an action that was completed in the very recent past, expressed by just. She has just left the building. They have just completed the exam. Number 5, the present perfect is used in an action when time is not important. I have read Pride and Prejudice. The dogs have gone to sleep. Okay, now let's look at forms of the present perfect. First of all, we have the affirmative form in sentences like, we have gone, when we're stating a fact. We have the negative form when we deny something or say something that hasn't happened in sentences like, we have not gone. And of course, we have the interrogative form when we're asking questions in sentences like, have we gone? So you can see that we put have before the pronoun or the subject there. Okay, let's look at some examples of the affirmative form of the present perfect. I have worked at McDonald's. You have worked for them 3 times. He has worked at Walmart his whole life. Now let's look at these same sentences in the negative form. I have not worked at McDonald's. You have never worked for them. He has never worked at Walmart. And now let's look at these same sample sentences in the interrogative form of the present perfect. Have I ever worked at McDonald's before? Have you ever worked for them? Has he worked at Walmart his whole life? Okay, time for some listening and speaking practice. I'm going to read sample questions and I want you to listen and repeat along with me. Have you ever worked before? Have you ever worked before? Have you ever worked before? Have you filled out many job applications? Have you filled out many job applications? Have you filled out many job applications? Have you ever worked at McDonald's? Have you ever worked at McDonald's? Have you ever worked at McDonald's? Have you ever been a manager? Have you ever been a manager? Have you ever been a manager? When have you held a similar position? When have you held a similar position? When have you held a similar position? Why have you decided this is the right career for you? Why have you decided this is the right career for you? Why have you decided this is the right career for you? Where have you worked previously? Where have you worked previously? Where have you worked previously? Whom have you helped by doing this? Whom have you helped by doing this? Whom have you helped by doing this? What have you done since your last job? What have you done since your last job? What have you done since your last job? How have you felt since quitting your previous job? How have you felt since quitting your previous job? How have you felt since quitting your previous job? How many times have you been fired? How many times have you been fired? How many times have you been fired? Have you had other jobs like this before? Have you had other jobs like this before? Have you had other jobs like this before? Okay, great. That's it for these sample questions. Now, let's do some present perfect exercises for you to practice conjugating these phrases. Choose the correct conjugation for each of the following sentences. I walk to school. How would you conjugate that into the present perfect? I'll give you 3 seconds. If you need more time, just pause the video. I have walked to school. How'd you do? Did you get it correct? Sentence 2. You go to work every day. You have gone to work every day. How'd you do with that one? Notice that was an irregular verb. Number 3. He plays the piano for us. He has played the piano for us. Remember to use has because it's in the third person singular. Number 4. We put peanut butter on our ice cream. We have put peanut butter on our ice cream. Number 5. They are nice at times. They have been nice at times. 6. He is very nice to me. He has been very nice to me. 7. I do exercises. I have done exercises. 8. You hit your brother. You have hit your brother. Next, we eat at Joe's Grill. We have eaten at Joe's Grill. And finally, number 10, they grow well around here. They have grown well around here.
How'd that exercise go? Did you find it helpful? Let us know. Now we're going to jump in to the Breaking News English activity. You're actually going to listen to me read the phrases. You can also practice and repeat along with me. But as you do, there's going to be pairs of words where you have to choose the correct word in that sentence. Okay? Fun little exercise for you. And then when I repeat the phrase the second time, I'll actually show you the correct choice. So let's go ahead and jump in to that now.
Jobless young people. This is an activity from BreakingNewsEnglish.com Level 3. Download the 26-page PDF study guide from BreakingNewsEnglish.com. Check the descriptions for the link. We'll be looking at the activity on page 19. Circle the correct word. Guess the correct word for each pair and then read the sentence out loud with me. A new report says or say the number of young people without a job is still very high in many countries. Says. A new report says the number of young people without a job is still very high in many countries. There are currently 73 million people around the world aged 15 to 24 who want to work but cannot find a job. There are currently 73 million people around the world aged 15 to 24 who want to work but cannot find a job. The International Labor Organization said that youth unemployment is coming or come down in rich countries. It is raising or rising in most of Asia, the Middle East, North Africa, and Brazil. The International Labor Organization said that youth unemployment is coming down in rich countries. It is rising in most of Asia, the Middle East, North Africa, and Brazil. The youth unemployment rate in China increased from 9.3% in 2010 to 10.6% last year. The youth unemployment rate in China increased from 9.3% in 2010 to 10.6% last year. Economists say it will or gonna be 11.1% in 2016. Will. Economists say it will be 11.1% in 2016. In Brazil, the figure or figured for youth unemployment was 14% at the beginning of this year, but is now almost 16%. Figure. In Brazil, the figure for youth unemployment was 14% at the beginning of this year, but is now almost 16%. The ILO warns that youth unemployment worldwide is set to rise. Set. The ILO warns that youth unemployment worldwide is set to rise. The ILO said it is difficult for many young people who are looking for work. Difficult. The ILO said it is difficult for many young people who are looking for work. It said it's still not easy to be young and starting out in today's labor market or marketing. Easy and market. It said it's still not easy to be young and starting out in today's labor market. It is peculiar or particularly bad for many young women. Particularly. It is particularly bad for many young women. The highest gate or rate of youth unemployment around the world is for women in the Middle East and North Africa. Rate. The highest rate of youth unemployment around the world is for women in the Middle East and North Africa. This figure is around or abound 45%. Around. This figure is around 45%. There are many reasons or reasoning for the gloomy figures for youth unemployment. Reasons. There are many reasons for the gloomy figures for youth unemployment. One major factor is the global financial collapse of 2008. Factor. One major factor is the global financial collapse of 2008. Many countries will or still not recovered from that. Still. Many countries have still not recovered from that. The ILO says youth unemployment is not just important for a country's economy. Important. The ILO says youth unemployment is not just important for a country's economy. It also affects health, social unrest, and level of people's happiness. Levels. It also affects health, social unrest, and levels of people's happiness.
So how'd you do? Did you like it? Good. Now let's practice some pronunciation. The sound of the letter R. We have words that start with the letter R, have the letter R in the middle, and end with the letter R. We also have a special exercise to help you reduce your accent. So listen, pay attention, and repeat along with me to practice. Let's do that now.
English pronunciation. How to pronounce the R sound. Words that start with the R sound. Listen and repeat. Resume. Resume. raise, raise. Retail, retail. Responsibility, responsibility. Receive, receive. Okay, words that have the R sound in the middle. Listen and repeat. Work, work. Hire, hire. Currently, currently. Experience, experience. First, first. Okay, and now words that end with the R sound. Manager, manager. Computer, computer. Mister, mister. Never, never. Labor, labor. Excellent. Very good. Now that we've gone through and practiced those, let's see these words in actual phrases in the following exercises. We have some English pronunciation exercises to help you reduce your accent. So, what I want you to do is read each sentence out loud. First, before you hear the audio, I want you to try to read the sentence out loud. Then listen to the audio as you hear me say the phrase. Then you're going to repeat the phrase and correct your accent by imitating what you hear in the audio as closely as possible. Okay? So first you're going to say it, then you're going to listen to me. Phrase 1. I'm looking for work. I'm looking for work. Good. Next sentence. Are you currently hiring? Are you currently hiring? Good. Next. Do you have any current job openings? Do you have any current job openings? Excellent. Great. Next sentence. What positions do you currently have available? What positions do you currently have available? Excellent. Fantastic. Moving on. May I fill out a job application here? May I fill out a job application here? Good. Fantastic. Next sentence. Do you have any previous work experience? Do you have any previous work experience? Good. Next. No, this is my first job. Nope, this is my first job. Good. Next. I've done a little freelancing. I've done a little freelancing. Great. Next. Yes, I was a manager at my last job. Yep, I was a manager at my last job. Excellent. Good. Moving on. Next sentence. I have a degree in computer engineering. I have a degree in computer engineering. Fantastic. Great. Moving on. Next sentence. Here's a copy of my resume. Here's a copy of my resume. Good. Next. I'm here for a job interview with Mr. Smith. I'm here for a job interview with Mr. Smith. Fantastic. Next. Congratulations. I'm going to hire you. Congratulations. I'm going to hire you. Good. Next. Can you start on Monday morning at 9? Can you start on Monday morning at 9? Good. Next. Great. We'll start you off on Monday. Great. We'll start you off on Monday. Good. Next. I'm sorry, Bill. This isn't working for me. You're fired. I'm sorry, Bill. This isn't working for me. You're fired. Good. Next. You can't fire me because I quit. I never liked working here anyway. You can't fire me because I quit. I never liked working here anyway. Good. Next. Why did you quit working? Why did you quit working? Good. Next. They never gave me a promotion. They never gave me a promotion. Good. Next. I wanted the raise and extra commissions. I wanted the raise and extra commissions. Okay, excellent. So that's it for this exercise.
Good. Great job. We have one more exercise for you. It's sort of a speaking exercise to help you with your speaking skills. 100 phrases in a simple dialogue that you can read along with me and practice your English skills. So let's go ahead and do that right now.
100 phrases in English asking about a job opening. Listen and repeat. Hello. 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 Do you have any job openings? Do you have any job openings? Do you have any job openings? Yep. 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 We sure do. We sure do. We sure do. What kind of work experience do you have? What kind of work experience do you have? What kind of work experience do you have? Well, the truth is none. Well, truth is none. Well, truth is none. What do you mean, none? What do you mean, none? What do you mean, none? I've never had a job before. I've never had a job before. I've never had a job before. What? How old are you? What? How old are you? What? How old are you? I'm 27. I'm 27. I'm 27. But I've never had a job. But I've never had a job. But I've never had a job. Come on. Come on. Come on. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. Nope. 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 How come? How come? How come? Well, I just finished college. Well, I just finished college. Well, I just finished college. I've been living on a student loan. I've been living on a student loan. I've been living on a student loan. I need to make some money to pay it off. I need to make some money to pay it off. I need to make some money to pay it off. But you're 27 years old. But you're 27 years old. But you're 27 years old. How come you're just finishing college now? How come you're just finishing college now? How come you're just finishing college now? Well, it was fun. Well, it was fun. Well, it was fun. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to end. So I just kept studying. So I just kept studying. So I just kept studying. You mean you flunked 5 years? You mean you flunked 5 years? You mean you flunked 5 years? I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. And I'm very persistent. And I'm very persistent. And I'm very persistent. Really? 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 And what did you major in? And what did you major in? And what did you major in? I have a biology degree. I have a biology degree. I have a biology degree. Well, we don't need a biologist. Well, we don't need a biologist. Well, we don't need a biologist. Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. I'll do pretty much anything. I'll do pretty much anything. I'll do pretty much anything. What kind of openings do you have? What kind of openings do you have? What kind of openings do you have? We need a janitor. We need a janitor. We need a janitor. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. As long as it pays the bills, right? As long as it pays the bills, right? As long as it pays the bills, right? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess. But why didn't you go to a company that needs a biologist? But why didn't you go to a company that needs a biologist? But why didn't you go to a company that needs a biologist? I did. I did. I did. I dropped off 374 resumes over the past couple of months. I dropped off 374 resumes over the past couple of months. I dropped off 374 resumes over the past couple of months. But I'm getting desperate. But I'm getting desperate. But I'm getting desperate. I can imagine. I can imagine. I can imagine. Here's my resume. Here is my resume. Here's my resume. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. Just fill out this job application. Just fill out this job application. Just fill out this job application. And good luck. And good luck. And good luck. I'll schedule an interview for you tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll schedule an interview for you tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll schedule an interview for you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll be here at 9 sharp. I will be here at 9 sharp. I'll be here at 9 sharp. Great. If you're on time, I'm sure the position will be yours. Great. If you're on time, I'm sure the position will be yours. Great. If you're on time, I'm sure the position will be yours. What kind of work will I be doing? What kind of work will I be doing? What kind of work will I be doing? You'll be doing general office work. You will be doing general office work. You'll be doing general office work. We're a wholesale company. We are a wholesale company. We're a wholesale company. We import goods from China and sell directly to department stores. We import goods from China and sell directly to department stores. You'll be in charge of receiving goods and checking inventory. You'll be in charge of receiving goods and checking inventory. You'll be in charge of receiving goods and checking inventory. You'll take orders. You will take orders. You'll take orders. And you'll make sure everything goes out on time. And you will make sure everything goes out on time. And you'll make sure everything goes out on time. Wow. Wow. Whoa. It sounds like a big responsibility. It sounds like a big responsibility. It sounds like a big responsibility. Do you think I can handle it? Do you think I can handle it? Do you think I can handle it? Remember, it's my first job. Remember, it's my first job. Remember, it's my first job. Are you trying to talk yourself out of a job? Are you trying to talk yourself out of a job? Are you trying to talk yourself out of a job? Do you want it or not? Do you want it or not? Do you want it or not? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I really need the money. I really need the money. I really need the money. I just don't want to take on a responsibility I'm not prepared for. I just don't want to take on a responsibility I'm not prepared for. I just don't want to take on a responsibility I'm not prepared for. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's actually pretty easy. It's actually pretty easy. It's actually pretty easy. Because we're not a retail store, you're working with products in bulk. Because we're not a retail store, you are working with products in bulk. Because we're not a retail store, you're working with products in bulk. So it's not that hard to handle. So it's not that hard to handle. So it's not that hard to handle. Besides, you'll actually be assisting John. Besides, you'll actually be assisting John. Besides, you'll actually be assisting John. He's the manager and does most of the work himself. He's the manager and does most of the work himself. He's the manager and does most of the work himself. John is a good boss. John is a good boss. John is a good boss. He will delegate responsibilities when he sees you're ready for them. He will delegate responsibilities when he sees you're ready for them. He will delegate responsibilities when he sees you're ready for them. There's nothing technical involved. There is nothing technical involved. There's nothing technical involved. Okay, I'll give it a shot then. Okay, I will give it a shot then. Okay, I'll give it a shot then. So how much will I be making? So, how much will I be making? So how much will I be making? If you get the position, we'll start you off at $8 an hour. If you get the position, we will start you off at $8 an hour. If you get the position, we'll start you off at $8 an hour. After 6 months, you'll be up for review. After 6 months, you'll be up for review. After 6 months, you'll be up for review. If you're working well, you'll get a 30% raise. If you are working well, you will get a 30% raise. If you're working well, you'll get a 30% raise. And we're looking to expand our operations over the next year. And we're looking to expand our operations over the next year. And we're looking to expand our operations over the next year. So there's a good chance you'll get a promotion to area supervisor. So there is a good chance you'll get a promotion to area supervisor. That is, if you don't get another job as a biologist. That is, if you don't get another job as a biologist. That is, if you don't get another job as a biologist. Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this for the long haul. As long as there is opportunity for growth, I plan on sticking around. As long as there is opportunity for growth, I plan on sticking around. As long as there's opportunity for growth, I plan on sticking around. I never wanted to be a biologist anyway. I never wanted to be a biologist anyway. I wanted to be a doctor and make lots of money. I wanted to be a doctor and make lots of money. I wanted to be a doctor and make lots of money. And I assumed studying biology would help me prepare for med school. And I assumed studying biology would help me prepare for med school. And I assumed studying biology would help me prepare for med school. But I had so much fun in college, I didn't want to leave. But I had so much fun in college, I didn't want to leave. But I had so much fun in college, I didn't want to leave. Now I'm willing to do any kind of work as long as it pays well. Now I'm willing to do any kind of work as long as it pays well. Now I'm willing to do any kind of work as long as it pays well. Well, that's good to hear. Well, that's good to hear. Well, that's good to hear. I'm sure John will be happy to hear it too. I'm sure John will be happy to hear it too. I'm sure John will be happy to hear it too. He'll show you the ropes around here. He will show you the ropes around here. He'll show you the ropes around here. And I'm sure you'll do great once you pick up the tricks of the trade. And I'm sure you will do great once you pick up the tricks of the trade. And I'm sure you'll do great once you pick up the tricks of the trade. Once you get promoted, you'll pick up some nice benefits too. Once you get promoted, you'll pick up some nice benefits too. Once you get promoted, you'll pick up some nice benefits too. Health insurance and an extra Christmas bonus. Health insurance and an extra Christmas bonus. Health insurance and an extra Christmas bonus. Wow, that's incredible. Wow, that is incredible. Wow, that's incredible. It's way better than what I expected for my first job. It's way better than what I expected for my first job. It's way better than what I expected for my first job. I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get started. Okay, see you tomorrow then. Okay, see you tomorrow then. Okay, see you tomorrow then.
Good. Fantastic job. Great. So we're wrapping up this lesson on work and jobs. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment with your feedback, letting us know what you liked in this lesson so we can do more of it. And also, feel free to let us know what you didn't like, so that way we don't spend time doing stuff you don't enjoy. Just tell us, hey, I like this, I didn't like this, I want more of this, so we can create better videos for you. Your feedback is very important. Also, please feel free to like and share this video with as many people as you know who want to learn English. I know they'll appreciate it, and we appreciate you helping us spread the word to as many people as possible. But most importantly, I want you to subscribe to this channel so that way you're updated automatically when we release new videos like this for you, and you'll be among the first to get access to future videos that we create in this format. Okay, so I'll leave you for now. If you have any questions, send us an email, shoot us a line, and I look forward to chatting more with you later. So you have a great day, God bless, and bye-bye.